I'll wait 5 minutes. Husband never come. I'll finish here. My phone will top carrots. If you are here, comment your name. Hey guys, how you doing? If you can hear me, just comment that you can hear me. I can see your comments. So, just 20 of you right here. Our comments. The window, please. So, as regards our class, let me start by saying a happy holiday to you guys. And to all the Muslim Ramadan festival or celebration, bring you guys blessing, love, laughter, and happiness. So I sent a note to you guys, and the note is on fallacy, which I told your course rep that I will send out other notable topics. So we started explaining this fallacy in class, but I'll be giving much details on this fallacy right here and now. If you remember, we established that fallacy etymologically is from a Latin origin, which comes from the word fallacia or fallo. Fallacia or fallo. And by fallacia, we hazard that it means for deceit. And fallo means to deceive. So when you say fallacy, or when logician uses the word fallacy, it arguably means one thing. These are words, arguments that is intending to deceive. Remember in our first class, or our first note, we established that logic is the aspect of philosophy that deals with what counts as sound reasoning. That deals with what counts as sound reasoning. Hence, we are saying that if this reasoning is not intending towards the rationale, that is a point of absolute reason, if it is one that is leading astray or one to mislead the mind, it becomes erroneous. For example, in English language, as you guys learned, under a topic known as collocation, we say that when words that do not collocate or phrases that do not collocate comes together, it is erroneous. That is, it becomes grammatical blunder. But in this case, words that is intended to deceive is fallacious, it is erroneous. And so after establishing that, I recall vividly, we went to see their classifications of fallacy, and we have two classifications for the sake of class. Two classifications. The first one is formal or logical fallacy, and the second one has to do with material fallacy, or it is called fallacy of relevance. Please take note of this. The first one is formal or logical fallacy, and the second one is material or fallacy of relevance. Are we good with that? Now, there's something I was saying in class before we had the HOD present and we did all that stuff and we call it a day. When we get to the ontology of fallacy, which is, I gave you guys a part of a series of fallacy, like classifications, like some series of fallacy, which we call ontology. There's something you will see before you get the name of this fallacy, known as argumentum ad. Argumentum ad. Now, when you say argumentum ad, it means arguing by appealing. I said this in class the other day, like arguing by appealing. So, one thing you need to understand is when you see argumentum ad before a fallacy is stated, it's only giving us the narrative that we are arguing, appealing to. Argumentum ad simply means arguing by appealing to. You can appeal to emotion, you can appeal to authority, you can appeal to pity, you can appeal to force, you can appeal to anything. So just put at the back of your mind that argumentum ad simply means arguing by appealing. So back to the types of fallacy. We say we have material fallacy, we have formal. Now, I will not be giving much explanation on that. It's readable. It's right there on the notes I sent out for you guys to copy. Now, we'll now look at the ontology of this argumentum ad ignorantia. I reiterate, argumentum ad ignorantia. That is appeal to ignorance. Argumentum ad ignorantia, appeal to ignorance. Now, when we say argumentum ad ignorantia, what's the first thing that comes to our mind? The first thing that comes to our mind, argumentum ad ignorantia, it's appealing to belief or the belief of certain facts. Now, these facts are in two ways. These facts are either known or they are not known. For example, one tells you that, you know that there's Lagos in Portugal. You start arguing. Lagos can never be in Portugal. You say, lie, you don't know what you are saying. In fact, you are drunk. In fact, you are not in your right state of mind. And one goes beyond the context of argument to prove that yes, indeed, there is a place known as Lagos in Portugal. What will happen to you? You see that you must have made fool of the whole situation. So when we say argumentum ad ignorantia, it's an argument that is appealing to ignorance, whether you know it or you do not know it. It is fallacious. For example, like I said, it can be argued that a proposition that is true because it has not been shown to be false. For example, when one argues that something say A does not exist because no one has seen A, such argument is guilty of argumentum ad ignorantia. The second one says that ignorance of the opposite. This is largely subjective. That is, it is personalistic. That is, one's ignorance. Here, one has said to reject a conclusion because he himself has not heard of an opposing view, even if it exists. Example, the fact that one has not seen a cloned animal does not imply that cloning is impossible. So the things which you have not seen or the things which you think exist that necessarily do, whether being your knowledge or not, both of them can commit this fallacy of argumentum ad ignorantia. Little wonder you observe in our local setting, people will say that ignorance is not an excuse. Because you do not know does not make it to stop existing or does not make it faulty in existence. The other one has to do with argumentum ad baculum, appeal to force. I remember vividly in our last week Monday class, I gave an example on this. When I said to someone, I say, You will fail this course if you do not buy the textbook for this course. Appealing to force. Appealing to force. That's why in your second semester, when we get into preposition proper, you see that before we enter into preposition, we will try to introduce some certain language of command, language of emotion, and you find out that language of command cannot be ascertained to be true or false because it's one way. It has to do with superiority. It has to do with power. You cannot look at the language of emotions, telling the girl I love you or a boy I love you. There's no way to quantify or measure the love or whatever emotion we have for one or another. There's no way we're going to do that. But there is something that can always be measured as a matter of fact by going out of the context to get evidence if it is true or false. And that becomes what? Preposition. A declarative statement that can either be true or false. And so argumentum ad baculum is an appeal to force. Hence, it is erroneous. It is an error in reasoning. Appeal to force. Because there is no way we can say that, okay, they came on same ground, same platform to discuss vividly what they think should be. Because it was a struggle or talks of power. The third one I gave you guys is argumentum ad hominem. Argumentum ad hominem. Now this is attack against the personality. Attack against the what? Personality. This simply means when you leave the supposed matter of discourse to attack a personality. Let's say we're talking about owing a girl, as an instance. Instead of you to give the girl your raise, strike the issue on ground, to display your sense of affection, you leave the whole contents of trying to get this girl by what you can say, what you can do for her. You start lynching, or probably let's say your contendant in the whole situation. It's a core example. But this attack against personality can be in 4 dimensions, which I send out to you guys. The first one is abusive or praise. It's abusive or praise. Sometimes we attempt to disprove what a person defends or affirms by attacking the person. And this can be seen as attacking the straw man. Attacking the what? Straw man. Instead of you to just look at an issue, you first of all try to degrade or try to reduce the personality of this person. You don't talk about the situation on ground. You are just lynching on the person, lynching and lynching and lynching. From what I send you guys, sometimes we attempt to disprove what a person defends or affirms by attacking the person. Less commonly, supporting a person's contention by praising him. This is called attacking the straw man, like I said. Let us recall Abacha's argument against Mandela when the letter called for the democratization of Nigeria. Mandela is senile. He cannot appreciate the fact. Abacha did not disprove the need of democratization, but he attacked Mandela's personality. This is abusive. You leave the issue that is supposed to be discussed to start attacking a particular person's personality. That is abusive or praise. The second one has to do with circumstantial. Circumstantial under argumentum ad hominem. The 4 of them that I will say, they are all argumentum ad hominem. But we're just trying to show you the 4 ways that this fallacy can be committed. The first one is abusive or praise. The second one we're talking about right now is circumstantial. The word circumstance. More generally, we sometimes argue in a way that may or may not be forceful against a particular person's position or personality. We either point to the enabling circumstances that have caused him to hold a particular position, or do not advance matter for those who do not hold that person's particular combination of belief. For example, against Oshoma's argument that England will defeat Nigeria in a football match, Oshokele replied, don't mind him. Oshoma was born in England. I don't know if you guys get that. Let me take it again. When you say circumstantial, let me bring it to your level. Now, let's say there is an issue between Faculty of Arts and let's say management science. And let's say I'm an older brother to a student in management science, but the student normally comes to arts to visit us. And we are just raising up an issue that is pertaining to arts. And the guy is giving us an argument saying that art was at fault in the issue that break out between arts and management science. And instead of you to address what was the issue, you start attacking this person on the ground that, oh, he's speaking because he's a member of management science. Or even as an ENL. We have an issue in the class and you are to speak. You are a student of ENL. You are speaking from the perspective of the issue. But someone will say you should shut up. Yes, why you not go support them now? Now English student now, he must support you. That is circumstantial argumentum ad hominem. We shouldn't look at circumstances to attack people, but the issue addressed should be the nitty-gritty or the focal point. So we should look at what the person is saying, if it is factual or not. A clear one again is the whole issue of, let's say somebody starts speaking in favor of Biafra. It's over to look at the issue at hand or look at the case being presented by this person who will say, oh, may shut up. Na Igbo, na more Igbo. Everything go talk now. He must always support them. It's not him being an Igbo or have an affiliation to the Igbos. It is the issue on ground being discussed. Is it worth it or not? Remember, we are on Argumentum ad hominem, that is attack against his personality, and we say that there are 4 aspects of Argumentum